Joining us now is Louisiana Congressman and House Republican Whip, Steve Scalise. Congressman, always good to see you.
It's great to be with you, Sean, and just heartbreaking as you showed those images of police officers all across America. But, you know, it's such a bad year that we've seen this last year for police officers, and that's why this crazy defund the police movement's got to end. We all need to call it out, and we all need to back the blue. I surely would not be here today without the heroism and bravery of police officers.
You know, I was watching White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki the other day, and she was kind of mocking this idea of them being soft on crime. And it comes down to, like everything else, their border policies, the policies that they're putting out, the attitude that they have, right? They don't take crime seriously. They don't take punishment seriously. When Kamala Harris was a candidate, was a senator, she contributed to the Minnesota fund that let people out of jail. If you're not going to take crime seriously, if you're not going to punish criminals, then I don't understand. You're either on the side of the police, on the side of law, or you're on the side of people who break the law. And there's really, to me, no gray area in this. And I feel like the White House just doesn't get it right now.
Yeah, Sean, and she laughed it off, and she even said there's some parallel universe, as if there's not crime in America. The cities are seeing some of the worst crime they've ever had. And you're also seeing, again, this undermining of support for police. The defund police movement is still out there. Now you've got these DAs who are saying they're not even going to prosecute people. You could use a gun in a crime. As long as you don't pull the trigger, they're not going to charge you. I mean, this is unbelievable, and it's causing chaos in a lot of big cities all across America. People fear for their lives. They're fleeing big cities in droves. There are severe consequences, and yet Joe Biden will not stand up to this crazy defund the police movement. He won't stand up to these DAs who aren't even prosecuting criminals who are out there hurting people every day.
Congressman, I do want to shift gears with you. The Beijing Olympics is about to start in just a few days here. Meanwhile, House Democrats are moving ahead with this Competes Act to have us compete with China. There's a lot of Republicans who actually have concern about this bill. Do you?
I have serious concerns, and it's really the concede to China bill, because if you look at what they're doing, it's creating $54 billion in new mandatory spending, which, by the way, everybody knows inflation right now that they're struggling from is tied to runaway spending. They're spending billions more. They give money to China in this bill. There's a slush fund they're creating that's already, elements of that slush fund have already given over $100 million of taxpayer money from America to China. They double down on that and give even more money to China. They're defunding police in many cities across America, and yet in this bill they create what's called a climate change officers, police officers, climate change officers that America is going to be funding to go all around the world and do who knows what to undermine America's economy. This is unbelievable. It's a gift to China, but again, this is not what Americans want. They want us to get inflation under control. They want us to stand up to China, find out about the origins of COVID, things like that. Secure our border. They're not doing anything like that this week.
So aren't there areas, though, at least some areas where you guys could find some common ground? It seems to me bringing some kind of manufacturing home, standing up to them on a couple issues. I mean, last week we had your colleague Rodney Davis on. You got Nancy Pelosi handing out masks to your colleagues made in China. But there's got to be some areas where Democrats, at least there's got to be a couple of them with common sense and saying, okay, we'll stand up to China in these 3 or 4 areas. It seems to me the administration put out what they call today a statement of administration policy, and not once did they mention China in the entire part of the bill. I mean, I don't understand how you can support their bill and not mention China.
Yeah, they literally don't mention China in the White House statement. This was a bipartisan bill months ago, and then just in the last few weeks, Speaker Pelosi shifted far to the socialist left, bowing to China, and made it a hyper-partisan bill. We were working on things like bringing more chip manufacturing to America, doing a lot of other things, and they might have elements of that in the bill, and then they go give away billions of taxpayer dollars to China and other countries. They create Solyndra-style slush funds in this bill. Again, $54 billion in new mandatory spending at a time when most Americans are saying stop the spending in Washington, stop the madness, because it's driving up inflation. And what are they doing? They're giving billions more dollars to countries like China. They just don't get it. And look, Joe Manchin's even saying he's not going to support the Build Back Better bill. They put elements of Build Back Better in this bill. So they're going backdoor, knowing it's not even going to fly through the Senate because people like Joe Manchin don't want this stuff. But they can't help appeasing their radical left base. That's all Joe Biden's done in his first year in office, is cater to the most radical, far left, big government socialists that are in his base, instead of working with Republicans to get the economy back on track, to get the border secure, to handle the real problems like lowering gas prices that we could do tomorrow, but he won't do.
That's right. Hey, I've read some reports that the Republican leadership is getting advice from former Speaker Newt Gingrich to come up with, maybe a contract with America 2.0, some kind of agenda heading into the midterms that your members, your current members, and potential members, the guys who are running out there to join you to make a new majority, would run on. Where is that?
Yeah, Sean, this is something I really get excited about because, we're working on a good, bold, conservative agenda. We've talked to Newt, we've talked to others. And what we want to do is roll that out in the next few months as we get closer to the election to show people, not only people know how bad the policies of Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi are, but they want to know what we stand for. And we're going to be showing them what we stand for on every issue that people are facing. Look, parents want more control over their kids' education. Democrats don't want them. They deem them domestic terrorists if they care about their kids. So we're going to be talking about school choice. We're going to be talking about getting the economy going again, getting people back to work again, securing America's border, and standing up to the bullies around the world. How to open up our classrooms. Those are going to be things that we're going to be rolling out, a good commitment to America that people can rally around. Again, they know how bad the Democrats are. We're going to win the House back next year by rallying behind a real exciting, bold, conservative agenda that people can contrast to what Biden has done to destroy this economy and to make America weaker all around the world.
I'm excited to hear that. Any sense, can you just give me ballpark on timing?
Yeah, probably by the summer. Again, people don't really pay attention to elections until they get closer. We don't even have maps in most states. With redistricting, qualifying usually is later. So once we get through primaries, you're going to see the races really shape up where it's going to be a good conservative Republican running against a big government socialist in a lot of these swing districts. And that's where the real races are going to be played out over who will control the House and the Senate in this November midterm.
Okay. Congressman Steve Scalise, thank you very much for being with us tonight. Stay safe.
Always great to be with you. Y'all too. Thanks.